But anyway, into today's topic. Oh my God, 6 minutes in. All right, but I just wanted to get that out of it so you kind of know what's going on for whatever goes forward. But the main topic of this video, I'll try and spit it out as fast as I quickly can because I also have to train and everything, is my pitch, my case for why you should do 20 rep squats. I wanted to do this topic shortly after I had actually done my spur of the moment 20 rep attempt with 140 kilos about, what would that be, like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago or something like that. But yeah, I just didn't have time with like work and the funeral ceremony procession with our friend who passed, and and I just did my exam and that I passed and everything. Passed and poor choice of words, I guess, but I completed it. I was geslaagd, as you say in Dutch and everything. Word of the day. But yeah, so I just couldn't get around to it, and I prefer to do these kind of vids when I'm on my own. When my beloved is not here, because then there's not like noise in the background, I'm not interrupting or anything, and then it's also like a little self-conscious. I just I like to be uninterred, uninterrupted. Don't have those things on me. But anyway, so 20 rep squats. So first of all, I haven't done 20 rep squats in a very long time. I was talking about this with my buddy Ricky Finneson, and I said that the last time that I've done a 20 rep squat set was my very first vid on this channel that I uploaded, where I was calling out someone who was trying to tear me down and stuff like that, and because I was congratulating someone else who had done a 20 rep squat attempt, because I know personally how difficult they are. That was my first vid on that channel that I just did spur of the moment, and I haven't done them since then. So that was with 110 kilos. And I said I'd been feeling really bad and really weak and just not feeling optimal or strong or anything like that at any point. But just for some reason that day when I was squatting, I just felt great. And the weights were moving like they should, like feeling more as if I was, peaked and seasoned with that weight and stuff. And then once I got to 140, which was my working set for that day, I thought I'll try. I didn't think I would get to even 10. I thought if I could get to 8 to 10, that's a good start, But then I was squatting and it just felt great. And then before I know it, I had hit 10. And then I thought, okay, I'm pretty sure that my previous best with that weight was 13 reps. So I thought, why don't I seize the moment and I get a rep PR? So I went for it, and and then I got to 14 or whatever, and then I thought, I have more in the tank. Why don't I cap it off? 15's a nice round number, so why not go for 15? Just blow this out of the water. But then I got to 15, and I thought, 140 kilos for 20 reps is a big lifetime milestone goal for me with squatting. And I thought, I'm only 5 reps away, from my goal, and I'm feeling good. Obviously at that point I was pretty tired and exhausted and fatigued. You're gonna be that way when you're doing such a high rep set with that kind of weight with squatting. But I thought, I'm only 5 away. Why not go for it? Instead of just, leaving it on the table where I have a few reps in reserve, and just, and then just thinking, what if I had went for it? Could I have done it? So I thought, screw it. I'm going for it. So I went for it, and I got really, really close. I got to 18, and the form was definitely breaking down on the 17th, the 18th rep. But I think maybe. And I was seeing stars by that point too. That was one of the hardest sets I've ever done. just bar none. But yeah, maybe if I had taken longer, just like really, really tried to like catch my breath and just really try and recover as much as I could, but it's really hard at that point because like your entire body is breaking down at that point. Just like holding the bar on your back is very difficult. But yeah, and then when I went down for the squat, I just couldn't get out of the hole. Like my body had just like given out. That was it. I was done. But you know, that's the point fundamentally, and why I wanted to speak about this is that one, it's an amazing, a great achievement, all things considered. Because, like I said, I was feeling super weak, and I wasn't peaked at all for squatting or anything like that. There was no prep. I hadn't done 20 rep squatting for probably like a year and a half or something like that. Whenever the channel had started, so that was amazing in and of itself. And just the fact that I went through that whole entire set. And there's so many points where I could have just said, I could have just called it there, you know, like that's good, just stop. But I didn't. I kept pushing through. You know, it can be reckless at times. You know, you gotta know like when to push and when not to. Like if you're in pain or whatever, obviously, you know, be smart. But the point is that my mind then was stronger than my body, and I think in a lot of cases, for most people, it's the other way around. You know, most people, in particular with working out in the gym and stuff like that, like, to be honest, you know, not calling any people out in particular or anything like that, but I work as a fitness instructor at a gym, right? Most people, they don't work hard enough. They think, and then, you know, they come into the gym and, you know, they look the same as they have, like, just regular string bean people as when they were there, you know, when they started a few years ago, because they're not working hard enough, and or they don't have enough focus. They're not, their training isn't optimized, I suppose you could say, enough to have conducive progress. And I'm not gonna say that I have all of the answers, or, you know, or anything, because I don't. You know, I don't have any experience with coaching and stuff like that. I haven't been taught. That's what I would like to do in the future. Maybe like go under the tutelage of some coach in the future so I can learn that kind of stuff. But I digress. But the thing is, with 20 rep squats, there is nothing, I suppose you could extrapolate it to just any kind of 20 set in general, but squats is a big one. There's nothing really like it, you know, to kind of paraphrase the quad father, Tom Platz. There's nothing like squats. But the thing is, it's not so much about the weight. It's about the perseverance. It's what's in your head. It's your mental toughness, and I think that's what builds it more than anything. Because obviously, doing these high reps, it's gonna build your body. It's gonna push that endurance, that work capacity and such. And trust me, like, I was sore for like a good, like, probably 2 or 3 days, give or take, after that set. Especially all things considered, because, like I said, I hadn't prepped for it at all. It was just spur of the moment. But when you're doing something like that, because for instance, like going to a set of 10 with squats, depending on what the weight is, like if it's decently or moderately heavy and everything, that's tough in and of itself. But it's going beyond that when you get to like 11, 12 reps and stuff like that and beyond. It's a whole different ballgame, man. And you won't know it until you try it. I guarantee it. Because when you get to that point, because usually, even if a weight is feeling like pretty easy, like for example, when I got to like 140, like when I got to 10, like it wasn't feeling like terrible, and I was really thinking like, man, like maybe 20 is there, you know. But it's when you're getting to like probably around like 11, 12, maybe 13 or so, you're getting there, and everything in your body and your brain is telling you to stop. Because your body and it's got a self-preservation complex, right? It's we have these fight or flight mechanisms in our body that are telling us, when we're getting under high uh, moments of stress and duration, essentially kind of like a self-imposed threats on our body, but the body can't tell the difference, right? Um, I assure you, if you've ever tried these things, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Your body is going to tell, like your brain is going to be screaming at you, stop, stop. There's going to be every fiber in your being that is going to tell you to just don't go any further, stop it. Like you're going to be feeling like super hot and like almost kind of like sick and nauseous maybe, or feverish. You're feeling like you've run a marathon at that point, and you kind of you know how it is if you've run for a really long amount of time. It's kind of almost that same sort of thing. There's everything in your body is telling you to stop and quit. Um, and then, like I said, like getting to the end of that set, like I was like seeing stars at that point. Like it was very taxing, very challenging. But the thing is that if you commit to that, you have to have the resolve and the fortitude to push forward past those signals and those your brain and your body that's telling you to just stop, 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 stop. And what that is going to do, it is going to give your mind such strength and clarity and resolve, and it's going to make your will ironclad, like I've kind of alluded to before. Um, and that's what I think, if anything, was a huge. Uh, it was like a PR for me, not just with the reps, but like when I did that particular set, and when I've done it with the lower weights as well, that I pushed. My mind was pushing and being stronger than like what my body was. Obviously, if you're too reckless with this can be a bad thing too. Absolutely, right? You got to know when to push and when to pull back. But I can't stress how important that is. That's the strength up here that it builds for you. And plus now, it's given me so much more confidence and assuredness, I suppose you could say, with that particular weight, and that knowing that I know that one day I'm going to get that 20 reps, because like I said, I wasn't preparing for that at all. I wasn't peaked up for it, and I got this freaking close to hitting it. So, and that's what it's going to do also for, like if you work at any reps like below it for working sets, or, warm up sets, or weight that's like close to it, you can always think like, I've done this particular weight or close to it for so many reps. Like it gives you this confidence for it, that it's not as scary or as intimidating as you might think it is. I'm essentially kind of going around in circles at this point, but I would recommend for anyone. I would, first of all, I would say that you should get some squatting experience under your belt. I wouldn't say this would be perfect for people that are just starting with squatting. Still getting their mobility and their flexing and just flexibility and all that stuff, and getting used to having the bar on the back, etc. But when you get to like maybe the beginner to intermediate stage, where you're starting to get like pretty good into squatting, maybe this is something that you could try for either a temporary program for a while, or every once in a while as a test. Pick a weight that is seemingly light to moderately heavy, and see if you can push it to that. And like I said, if you can do it successfully and you can push through it, you're going to see progress and gains, not only with your body, but most importantly, I think, your mind. And like I've said before, it's one of the greatest tools in your toolbox, is having a strong and ironclad mind, that discipline, that willpower, because it can be your greatest tool, but also your greatest weakness. If you're telling yourself, oh, I don't know if I can do it, or I all of these doubts and the insecurities and stuff like that, you're not going to perform as well. But if you build up that mental acuity, that toughness, it is going to translate over into your lifts, and not just your lifts too. It's going to be extrapolated to your life as well. Because when you think about it, you know, maybe some people will disagree or find it a bit cheesy. But if you can push yourself through something like that, a really hard 20 rep squat set, how many things in life are really as hard as that, you know, like in your general day-to-day routine? I'm not saying like maybe you do some crazy stuff in your life with your day-to-day routine, you know, I can't attest to what you do, but you kind of get what I mean. You're going to build such confidence and toughness that's going to translate into your life, you know, like you're going to say, if I could do this and push myself to the point of like absolute exhaustion where I have nothing left to give, then why can't I do this? You know, is it really as hard as I think it is? You know what I mean? You kind of start to realize that things are maybe not as hard as your mind is making you think it is. A lot of this stuff, it's mind games, right? But yeah, that's in a nutshell, in a big, almost 25-minute nutshell. That's my pitch to all of you, that you should try and give this a shot. You know, like even if you're just starting with the bar, man. Like if the bar is difficult to you, like eventually build up so that you can squat the bar for 20 reps. And that puts it into perspective, you know, that like this weight used to be challenging to me, and now I can do it for 20 reps. So, you know, that's such a big accomplishment, and it's such a big boost to your confidence and your mental toughness. You know, again, I'm going around in circles, but that's what I would, in conclusion, that's what I would say. I give this a shot. Be smart, be conservative with it. Don't start out too crazy or heavy or anything like that, but give this a go. Even just once, or, you know, every so often. You know, I don't think you'll regret it. It's not for the faint of heart by any stretch of the imagination, I can tell you that. But you are going to come out stronger and better and tougher on the other side. And at the end of it all, isn't that what we want to do? We want to become better and stronger versions of ourselves, correct? This is why we do it, right? So give it a shot. 20 rep squats. And if you guys have any experience with it at all, or you're thinking about trying it, you know, let me know. Kind of riff with me a little bit in the comments. Give me your feedback. What do you guys think?